Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Dhena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Tonight's a Japa workshop, and this is very important because it's our main sadhana of the holy name. By taking shelter of the holy name, we can achieve all perfection, because Krishna and his name are non-different, and also chanting the names is the prescribed method in the age of Kali Yuga. The Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is specifically prominent and can deliver one from the ocean of birth and death. More than that, it can bring one to the highest stage of perfection, which is prema, or pure love for Krishna. So, how we adjust our daily chanting will have very much to do with how we advance in Krishna consciousness and our experience in Krishna consciousness. There are a lot of things that we can do to improve the chanting that we do every day. Some of them have to do, well, let's ask you, where are all the microphones? Are they ready to go? Some of the ways in which we can improve general categories. You say them, I'll tell you what you're saying. Your intention leads to attention. So you start with a clear intention, and then your attention will be directed firmly in a certain direction. And if you don't have the right intention, if you're not fixed on any kind of goal, then you might chant, you might not chant, or you may chant half-heartedly or half-mindedly. So good point. Fix your intention. What are the other general categories where you can improve your chanting of daily japa? Hearing your own chanting. So definitely hearing and chanting and listening is important. Someone might say, well, that goes without saying, but actually listening is an active process. Really carefully listening, because the mind can be everywhere else except on the chanting. That's very possible and happens all the time. The mind flies around to, usually with devotees, it's to other kinds of service. Devotees thinking, I have to call such and such back because that truck's not going to show up with all the flowers on it, and then the Janmashtami will be ruined, and then you can't think straight, right? That's difficult. I mean, it's hard to control the mind. And the mind might go all kinds of other places too. So listening, controlling the mind, yes. What other categories? Begging mode. So being in a mood of begging, in a mode of begging, asking, please, Krishna, help me. We're getting the microphones going here so they can come around. Himanshu and then Gandharvika.
In the mood that holy name is definitely very, very sweet, but I am affected by jaundice, and this is the only medicine I should take.
Nice. Knowing ahead of time that I am diseased, so I can't taste the sweetness, so taking it as medicine. Great.
And the one that you said in Shamalangi's initiation, that the severity of the offenses and the pay, and how we had to pay it back for the offenses that we commit. So in that way, we can try to use kind of fear in a way to focus more on the name and try to avoid.
Be afraid of offenses, right? That's a good idea. Yeah. Be really afraid of even the smallest type of offense. I know I associate with some Vaishnavas, and I notice particularly that they're very, very careful not to commit Vaishnava aparad. Even in circumstances where you think, well, why not? I mean, it seems perfectly legitimate in this case. He'll be like, no, I'm not going to do it. Just don't take any chances. Yeah. Vital.
One is actually as a child crying for the mother. That example.
Yeah, so this mood of crying out. Feel yourself helpless. Only when we're a kinchana gochara, which means that we don't have anything. Maharaj was making these points the other day in the morning class very nicely about how If we have somewhere else to go or someone else to take shelter of, then we won't take full shelter of the holy name. But if I realize that I don't have any other shelter except for the holy name, then I'll go there. Yes.
Being confident that this is the process.
Being very confident. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanan. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says it very clearly, doesn't he, Vrindavan? That by this Sankirtan process, victory is there. Total victory is there. So we should have that conviction. This is called faith. Shraddha Shabde Vishwash Kahe Suridanyashchoy Krishne Bhakti Koila Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. Firm faith means that I have this understanding. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtana. All victory is there in chanting the holy name. Good. Vishaka.
Very similar to what he said. So understanding the potency of the holy name.
Understanding
how
the
it
potency.
can transform.
And much of this comes through Sambandha Gyan. So Thakur Haridas says in the Harinam Chintamani that not only do we have to regularly chant the holy name, constantly or regularly, but we also have to hear Sambandha Gyan. We have to be informed over and over again of Krishna's potencies, of our relationship with Krishna, that we're dependent on Krishna, that we're in the material nature, we're being controlled by material nature, and so forth. By hearing that and continuing to chant. And how often do we have to hear it? Every single day. Because the mind is so powerful and wicked that every day is a new chance to be diverted. And it happens by degrees. Just one tiny degree the mind can pull you. And then next day it's another degree, next day it's another degree. And then yoga nashta parantapa. The whole system is lost. And someone finds themselves, I don't know where. It's hard to say. Could be anywhere. But not chanting Hare Krishna. Who had another one? Yes.
By understanding how insignificant we are.
Okay. These are all attitudinal to understand how insignificant we are. Practical things? Sitting straight? Pronunciation? Posture? Prayer? Sitting next to Tulsi? Be in the association of other devotees or enthusiastic chanters. Posture is important. And also, early morning is a good time. Shut off all devices. Just like on the airplane, they say anything with an on-off switch. They used to say, turn off your, phone or whatever. Now they say anything with an on-off switch, because everything, even your socks, have an on-off switch in this day and age. So turn off everything with an on-off switch so that you can't be distracted. Why not? Why not for 3 hours? Just have full absorption and give yourself to the holy name. Don't give a chance for any other kind of interference to come in. And early morning is such a good time. The Brahma Muhurta hour, before the sun comes up, there's free nectar flowing in the air. And if you're careful to gather it up, then you'll be fortified for the day. You'll be strong. And when you chant in that atmosphere, you'll feel a union with the holy name. And when you see the sun coming up, you'll feel victory that you've conquered the day. It hasn't conquered you. Because ayur harati vai pumsam. The sun is coming and it's saying, I'm taking away your life, over and over again. But if you get up before the sun and begin chanting and you say, I'm your devotee, I'm here chanting, then you'll have a blessing. This is the benediction in that verse, that except somebody who's chanting the holy name, someone who's glorifying Uttama Shloka, that person is not diminished by the sun. Okay, so there's so many ways we can improve our japa. We've named some of them here. And it's good to revisit these on a regular basis so that we become focused on them. And we also have a program. We have a plan. If you're going to be wealthy, you have to have a wealth plan. If you want to be healthy, you have to have a. If you want to be smart, you got to have a. If you want to be friendly, you got to have a. If you want to be happy, happiness plan. And if you can't, you got to get yourself a can plan. So we want to have a japa plan. It's good to have a japa plan. Satsvarup Maharaj years ago wrote the Japa Reform Notebook. And everyone should have their own Japa reform notebook. You should be thinking about these things. How to improve my Japa? How did I do? What things could I do better? There's always room for improvement in the Japa department. So, first thing we're going to talk about, which we mentioned a little bit, is about being present in the moment. And the mind generally wanders off in two directions. It goes into the future and it goes into the pasture. So in the future, it's thinking about what might happen. And in the past, it's thinking about memories, lamentations, things I should have done right, and so forth. And to be in the present requires a little bit of practice. To still the mind, to sit quietly, to let go. Give yourself permission to be there and not to go anywhere else. And that may sound funny, but actually it's true. There's a way in which we actually have to intentionally calm the mind and sit in the moment and not go anywhere else. And notice that the mind is running off in each direction, but bring it back into the present moment. And feel that I'm perfectly situated right here chanting my japa. I don't have to go anywhere else. Everything can be done from this position. And this is, again, Shraddha Shabde Vishwash Karhe Suridar Nishchay Krishne Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. Means I don't have to go anywhere, do any other karmas. I just have to do this right now, and everything else will work itself out. So be in the present. Life is consciousness. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about how you can understand that we're alive because you can feel the symptoms of life throughout your body. Just as the sun shines and fills up the whole universe with light, so similarly, if you notice that there's consciousness throughout your body, you have feeling in your legs, right? If you don't, we're going to call 911. And you'll notice that your consciousness pervades the body. And that's who we are. We're actually a unit of consciousness, part and parcel of Krishna. Mamai vamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manakshastan indriyani prakriti-stani karshiti. Hey. I know, but they're leaning it against the $1 million wall. Do we really want to lean stuff on the $1 million wall? Anyway, I'll try to be in the present moment. And so, what you refer to as your life should more accurately be called your life situation. So there's many, the way in which we identify with all kinds of thoughts and attachments that we have. These are superfluous to our actual life, which is eternal, it never changes. It's actually something ongoing. Whereas the dreamlike state of the material world that I project myself into and identify with is always changing and moving. And I say, I'm a truck driver, I am on Medicare, I have 3 kids, and so forth. All these things are my life situation, but they're not my life. So when we sit down to meditate on Krishna, we want to become aware of our life, not our life situation. So forget about your life situation for a while and pay attention to your life. Next is, your life situation exists in time, your life is now. So the ideas that we have about who I am are really our attachments to various places, situations, and events. And let go of those for the time being. Therefore, before we even perform puja for Krishna, there are many mantras we say which are called the bhuta shuddhi, which means that we're cleaning the bhutas. That means the elements within the body. It's very dusty in here. I'm an eternal servant of Krishna, but somehow or other I've become implicated in this material condition. I have nothing to do with it. And so in the Archana Paddhati, you'll find that when sitting down to perform a puja, this bhuta shuddhi is there to clean all the elements in the body, including the mind. And naham vipro nacha narapatiranapi vaisho nashudro naham varni nacha gripatirano vanasto yatirva kintu prodyan nikila paramananda purnam ratabdir gopi bartu parakamalayor das anadasaha. The devotee remembers that I'm not a Vaishya, I'm not a Shudra, I'm not a Kshatriya, I'm not a Brahmana, I'm not a Brahmachari, I'm not a Sannyasi, I'm not a Vanaprastha, I'm not a Grihastha. I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of the maintainer of the gopis, Lord Sri Krishna. And so, even in the Padatis, there are instructions for, you sit down, you chant these mantras, you center yourself. Even performing some pranayam is there in some of the Vaishnava Shastras for clearing the mind and being very set. So the point is, there's a way that you have to settle yourself. If you just pick up your japa bag and start running back and forth and don't consider who you are and what is your real situation, and you purify your consciousness, then you may be on you may be caught in that cycle for the rest of your japa period. Okay. So be here and now. Mindfulness. Focusing on the present. So there's a kind of japa, or performing anything else these days. I saw a man on the way here. I was driving down the 280, and he had a big truck, and he was veering off. I couldn't tell if he was turning into my lane because he didn't have his blinkers on, and I thought maybe he'll just, turn right into me. And so I went a little faster, and I kind of noticed that he had his cell phone on the steering wheel, and he was texting while he was driving. And, it's not so uncommon. I see people all over the place doing it. You could tell, it looks like they're a drunk driver. And then if you look around, most people walking up and down the street, they're clicking like this. So there's a way in which technology has given us this ability to be in many places at one time. And the eyes and the ears and everything gets addicted to that. And also people watch television. They'll eat and watch television. They'll fix things and watch television. Everything, two places at once. And the telephone, we can be, on the telephone. I see people all the time with their kids. They're pushing the baby stroller, and then they're on the telephone, talking away. Especially around Burlingame, a lot of people have nannies, and I see them pushing the kid, and the kid's in there. But I don't know how the kid feels about it. But anyway, the point is, it's epidemic, this absence-presence. I'm there, but I'm somewhere else all the time. So you shouldn't do that with your japa. Don't try to multitask. Give yourself permission to do this exclusively and nothing else. And just be fully present for your japa. So this is a discipline, very important discipline. The mind shouldn't be allowed that facility to be in several places at once. So this fellow, what's he saying? Olaf, are you good at multitasking services? Well, I can chant and sleep. Not very good. Okay, so here's another one. Vishaka Leela found these. Now, how many of you brought your japa bags today? Srivatsa's got his. You all got some beads? If you don't, you can use your... Here, if you don't, I have a clicker you can use, unless you want extra. Okay, so let's talk about presence awareness. Be present with the holy name. So this is an important practice to do every day, to be present with the holy name. So a few things that we can do to be more present. First is that you should sit down and center yourself, and then you can become aware of your breath. Let's try that right now. Just relax and be comfortable where you're sitting right now. And then breathe naturally, but then become aware of your breath, that you're breathing in and out. If you like, you can close your eyes. And just take into account that this is the safest place in the whole universe. You're right here with Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan. You don't have to go anywhere else. Notice if your mind goes somewhere else, you can bring it right back into the room and right into the present moment. And just feel yourself to be alive. As Krishna talks about in the Bhagavad Gita, the body is illuminated by consciousness. So just for a minute, be aware that your body is full of consciousness and that you're in it. And keep breathing naturally. And now we're going to chant, well, holding this awareness of the present moment and being fully focused on just hearing the name. As you say the Maha Mantra, listen to the syllables, and we'll go nice and slow. There's no hurry. The Japa Mala is in a circle anyway. You'll end up at the other side. So don't worry about moving ahead at any pace. Main point is just to feel that it's okay to be present, and that anything that the mind brings up, you can just notice it and then come back to your japa. And we'll chant for a couple of minutes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. Now, did you face any challenges while you were chanting and being present during the Japa? What happened? Let's hear a few comments. Did you think of anything specific? Do you want to talk about it? I don't know if I want to mention. Go ahead.
Well, my mind went to the projects that I'm working on, and it gave me the idea.
Interesting. I was saying, don't put that on the $1 million wall. My mind was still going back there. Is the wall okay? I was imagining a little chip on the wall, and I go, the $1 million wall just became a $250,000 wall. And, so you went to projects, yeah? And where else? So did you notice it when it went to the project, and then you came back? Would you have noticed it normally? Okay.
I was just thinking tomorrow morning I should chant like this properly. Then my mind went to what to cook for tomorrow and all. Then I had to bring it back, but I was able to bring it back.
It started thinking what to cook tomorrow. Okay, good.
I was curious as to how everybody else is chanting. So I wanted to open my eyes and see, but then I thought I should be. So it was very conscious. It helped me, but I haven't experienced it recently in my chanting.
Okay. What else? Yeah, go ahead.
I actually looked at Radha Gopinath's picture when I entered, and I was thinking, when I first closed my eyes, I was remembering the temple, the steps and everything. Then I was telling my mind, no, don't think about the temple and the deity, think about the nama. As soon as I finished that, after the third, again my mind said, oh no, maybe Srivatsa is chanting or not, I should remind him. I said, don't worry about Srivatsa, you just think about yourself, you chant loudly and just, concentrate on the nama. And now fourth, I'm able to, I'm trying to get it back to listen to the holy name. And the third one was, as Mataji was saying, that what am I going to do next? And again, I was like, no, I'm sitting here to chant, I have to listen to the holy name, nothing else.
Very interesting. You had one? Same? Himanshu?
Yeah, I think I share with all the comments here. So in the beginning there was distractions of the work, but then I let it go and kind of told the mind, well, you have heard it enough for 30 minutes, don't think about that. But then after mind started thinking of some positive enforcement, oh, well, this is how you should chant. Everybody is concentrating. I should think of pastimes. Oh, and it went on, and so it was difficult to only concentrate on the name. Even mind was kind of tricking on the other side of the...
Tricking, yeah. Very interesting. Gandharvika. And then SKP.
I was just, the mind went to how other devotees were chanting nicely, because when we were in Mayapur a couple of times, I was watching Vishaka Mataji. She was in very deep prayer, and that made an impression within the heart. Then the mind goes there, but it didn't get it's trying to get the inspiration, then 2 mantras, and then it's going, oh, would you go to Mayapur? No, ISV. So it's like, like that.
Good. SKP?
My mind went to the first canto of that Srimad Bhagavatam. It got spoiled at bottom.
Yeah, because I got in his case when he came in. As soon as he walked in the door, I jumped on his case. Everyone's case today. And so his mind went there. Yeah. So this is just a sampling. So everyone should understand that it's not just you. And it's also Arjuna says in the Bhagavad Gita that the mind is very restless, it's mad, it's determined, it's unsteady, and so forth. And so that's what we're dealing with. Now some techniques to actually deal with it in a practical way. Because Krishna says you can deal with it, just you have to practice a lot. So through practice, you really can get better at this. So you do have to practice. And there's so many rewards from practicing concentration and mindfulness and hearing the holy name, especially when we add the holy name. That's the whole point. So what we're going to do now is another practice. Vrindavan, you're in on this. Come sit here. Right in this seat. I'm going to watch you. Turn around. Now sit like a yogi like we did the other night. There you go. Okay. Now, if Vrindavan can stay there, then we can do this. Then we can do anything. Okay, so we're depending on you. You got it? Stay like a yogi. Okay, so now what we're going to do is an experiment where we're going to listen to three mantras at a time. Don't think about, I've got a long way to go, how long is this going to go, did I finish a round, I already chanted my rounds, are we doing extra rounds, what am I going to have to do? Your mind will think all these things. Just think for now, your only business, your only duty right now that you're telling your mind is that you're going to concentrate on 3 mantras in a row. And if you have beads, then that's 3 beads with 3 mantras in a row. And don't try to go further than that. So we're going to do that, just 3 mantras, and then we're going to stop and see if we can get that far to practice. So again, center yourself. Take a couple of breaths, like take a nice inhale and exhale. 2 more times. Breathe naturally in and out. Think about how your breath is sustaining your body, how you're a living being, how you just landed on this planet out of nowhere. You don't know where you came from. All these other things that you think are important, like your insurance and you know how much you're going to get next year, or how many duties you have to do at home and stuff like that. Doesn't matter. Just let it all evaporate into a mist. Sit down. Vrindavan, turn around. We're depending on you, remember. Okay. So now we're going to chant 3 mantras together, and just stay focused on these 3 mantras. That's all, the only duty you have to do. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, how did we do? What was your experience with 3 mantras? Did it make it easier knowing that you had one short segment to do? Yeah? Easier? Okay, so now we're going to do 2 sets of 3. and just concentrate on the first set and then the second step. They'll be like stepping stones. So the first one, do 3 mantras, and then concentrate on 3 more mantras, and we'll stop. And that's all we have to do. That's all we're asking the mind to do, is just 3 mantras and another 3. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, how did that go? Better? Good. We're doing really well. Vrindavan's along with us. And so now, deregulated chanting, we're going to do 2 more sets of 3, but don't chant at the same pace. Chant at your own speed, but just do 3 and then stop. You ready? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. How'd y'all do? Okay? All right, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his book Harinam Chintamani, says that you should try various ways to concentrate. In fact, he says at one point you can go into a room and put a chadar over your head. This just gives an idea that there are various ways that you should try to sit or to concentrate so that you can become aware of the name. And if you practice that on a regular basis, it'll become easier. And once you start hearing the name and you get an attraction for it, then it becomes effortless, actually, not so difficult. And sometimes, of course, when chanting, it may take a few rounds before the mind begins to hear the name, and sometimes it starts right away, or sometimes you have 15 and a half rounds done, and then you start to feel it, or sometimes you finish all 16 rounds, and then you stop, and afterwards you think, oh, that was actually sweet. So it's different because the mind changes on a regular basis, but we should be practicing to be present with the holy name. This is a very beneficial kind of sadhana. And in this way we can develop a presence awareness. Very important to do this every day. Now, one thing is that the holy name is also conscious. I mean, not also, we're also conscious. The holy name is the source of all consciousness, and we're also conscious. But the Shastra says, Nama Chintamani Krishnas Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shudho Nitya Mukto Vinadvam Nama Namino. Now let's think about how important this is. That the name of Krishna is a touchstone. and it will transform us. Nama Chintamani Krishnas. So by being in contact with the name, we can remember this as we're chanting. We're being transformed. Every cell in our body is being transformed and benefited. Our mind will gradually be turned into something spiritual. Who can give a verse that indicates by association or by engagement of the senses in devotional service they become purified? Just go ahead and grab the microphone and then boldly introduce your evidence. Go ahead. Himanshu's got the Padma Purana coming down.
Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahayam indriya sevan mukhe hi jiva dao swayam etas spuratyada. So the senses who are materially conditioned cannot derive transcendental bliss or pleasure, but by rendering devotional service which begins with the tongue, such as the chanting of the holy name, gradually it realizes the spiritual bliss.
And Krishna reveals himself. Spurti, he makes his appearance to that person who's practicing. So the holy name is fully conscious, and he can appear to you. He will appear to you if you approach in a humble mood and with this full attention. Another verse about how association with something spiritual transforms the associator. Yes. Mukaravind.
It's from Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter.
Okay.
Brahmarpanam brahmarvi brahmagna brahmanahutam brahmaevatena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. So it says like whatever we offer in the yagya different paraphernalia, they all become also the same nature of the result, that is Brahman. So similarly, whatever. And it's like association, it proves like whatever you associate, you get that quality up.
So whatever you're engaging in the service of the Supreme, it also takes on that same spiritual nature. So your tongue, your ears, all the functions of your body when you're engaging in hearing the name, because Nama Chintamani Krishnas, he's completely transcendental and he's transformative. He changes us into spiritual. We're spiritual beings, but he'll transform the tongue, the ears, all the apparatus, everything by coming in contact with Krishna. And he'll transform our hearts also. So, yes, another verse.
Machita madgata prana bodayantascha parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushanticha ramanticha. If you're just talking about Krishna,
So Krishna says this is what devotees do. Chitta, Makata Prana, their consciousness and their life air is all engaged in talking about me. Makata Prana, their life, their prana. And Bodhayanta Parasparam, amongst themselves they're always talking about me. Tushanticha Ramanticha, then they derive great satisfaction and bliss. Okay, so Nama Chintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. So Chaitanya means that the name is alive. It's fully conscious. Chaitanya Rasa, and there's the taste. And Himanshu Prabhu mentioned earlier that there's a way in which I may not taste the name. Verse Rupa Goswami gave an indication of how much taste is in the holy name. Anybody know the verse? Tunde tandavali ratim vitanute tundavali labdaye karna kroda kadamani gatayate karnarbudebhya spriham cheta prangana sangani vijayate sarvendriyanam kritim no jane janita kriyadbir amritai krishneti varna dvayi. Let's move those chairs and let the other devotees be more part of the group here. Mukharvind, move those back. And all of you come in a little bit closer so you feel more. So, Rupa Goswami says in his verse, Tunde Tandavani Ratim Vitanute. That when chanting the holy name of the Lord, He desires to have many millions of ears and tongues, and 2 is not enough, 1 is not enough. He has this experience more and more and more and more to absorb the rasa, the taste of the name. And he says, Cheta prangana sangani vijayate, that the name dances in the courtyard of the heart and then makes all the senses, sarvendriyanam kritim, it makes all the senses inert. So the senses are after their different sense objects all the time. That's what they do. They're always searching, especially when they're conditioned, they're not purified. They want some food of their own, separate. And when they become purified, that's enough. When they become purified, then they're after Krishna. So they become conquered by the process of chanting the holy name. No jani janita kriyabhir amritai krishneti varnatvai. So then he asks, how much nectar has been produced? It's hard to, he said, I can't say. That no jane, I don't know. No jane janita kriyadbir amritai. How much amrita is there in the holy name? So that kind of rasa or taste is available by practice and by devotion to the holy name, showing our devotion to the holy name. That means centering our life around the chanting. You guys center your life around this? Yes. This is our main sadhana. We plan for it. You should plan your day like that so that you don't miss it. Like some people are so fixed on their career, like a professional athlete, like an Olympic athlete is always thinking about how to get the optimum workout. And every day doesn't want to miss a practice. Or a musician. As I said, one of the great violinists of the world said, when I miss practice one day, I notice it. You notice it if you miss chanting at the right time during the day? Then he said, if I miss 2 days, then my teacher notices it. And if I miss 3 days, then everyone notices. So, Namachintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. So the name has form also. Krishna's fully there in his name. Om Purnam Adap Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate. Krishna is perfect and complete. Krishna is perfect and complete. Nothing else, no other situation in this world is perfect and complete. The mind's always trying to find something perfect and complete in this world, some situation, some arrangement, but it always feels frustrated because it's not perfect. But the mind will become satisfied when actually hearing the name and experiencing that Krishna's form and all his qualities are there in the name because they're complete. Yes. Trishab.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Another important thing comes to the mind in chanting, which is to get up early. Because if the rounds can be done in the morning, then that's the best time to do them. And so how do we actually start getting up early?
Go to bed early. That's the main way to get up early. Because your body needs a certain amount of sleep. And I've seen people try to fight it before, and it's not a pretty sight. Don't put them behind the wheel of a car because they'll crash it. And don't put them in the Bhagavatam class because they'll fall asleep because they didn't get enough rest. But if you go to sleep earlier, then it's easy to wake up. So you got to cut out early. If you want to get up early, you got to cut out early. So like at the big festival, I see at festivals that I look out and everyone wants to chat. You want to walk from one person to the next person. How are you doing? I'm all right. How are you doing? And you can go on until it's 11 o'clock at night. Then you go to bed, and then you wake up the next morning, and then if you get up early, you're going to be tired. But if you just say, my Japa is more important, I'm going to cut out early. Where is Krishnadas? I don't know, he's not here. He must have cut out early. So if you want to get up early, cut out early and make arrangement to go to bed. And then you can wake up. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Yes. Also, the other thing is, I hope I'm not stealing your point here, but eat very lightly at night. If you eat grains, if you eat, tacos and stuff like that, drink a bunch of dal and rice, it's your body, there's a process your body goes through to digest that stuff, and it's physically much more difficult to get up in the morning. If you eat very light at night, maybe if you have to eat something at night, eat some fruit or something like that, like an apple. And then, you've got something in your stomach, but it's not hard for the body to process that. Did I take your point? Sorry.
Actually, I just had a follow-up.
No tacos. Okay.
Another follow-up, which is that, so when I wake up in the morning, so how do I get the impulse to just get up and not say, let's
I'll tell you,
wait.
one way that you can do that is you plan the night ahead. The night before, you're a different person than when you wake up the next day. That's a fact. My father, before we'd go on vacation, he'd always make us clean the whole house from top to bottom. And as a kid, I was like Vrindavan, and I was all over the place. And I was saying, why do we have to clean the whole house? We're leaving. And he said, you'll appreciate it when we get back. And then I always remember when we walked back in the door after a couple weeks away, I think, wow, who cleaned the house? Some really nice person cleaned the house, but it was us. And so the night before, if you clean your room, and then you take the books that you're going to read and your japa beads, you put them in the order that you're planning on reading them. So this gets the mind set, because say you're going to read the prayers of Queen Kunti and a chapter of Bhagavad Gita, like chapter 5, and you have them printed out. You put them there, right? And then say you read 40 pages of Bhagavatam a day. Okay, put that there. So you got 1, 2, 3. Then you put your japa bag right there. And all the beads are pulled right to where they're supposed to go and all that kind of stuff. And then you have your iPod ready to push. So when you wake up, you push the button. So now you go to sleep. And when you wake up, your mind comes to right where you started from before. It's the same thing that happens when you get inhaled into Mahavishnu. As soon as you come back out again, you start over again, wherever you left off. You were a slob when you went in, and you're a slob when you came out. But if you're ready for it, if you plan ahead, then when you come out of that nidra, your mind will become activated to something. It's really interesting the way sleep works. I mean, people study it all the time, and they don't really know how it works exactly. Even sleep specialists can't tell you everything about sleep. But one thing I've noticed is as soon as my intelligence kicks in, then the sleep just dissipates. Like if I take a nap and I'm lying there and all of a sudden I think, I got a good idea. I just jump up, and I don't feel sleepy at all. So you have to have a way to engage your intelligence and a goal for your mind to go to. If you just leave everything, if you just drop down and then in the morning you have to organize everything, it's a lot harder to get started. So that helps. Any other tips on getting started? Yeah.
On sleep, I was recently reading this article by Mahanidhi Maharaj where he says that sleeping at the same time every day and waking up at the same time every day actually, the mind actually, there is a pattern in the mind and you don't have to put alarm. Like if you try that for like 2 weeks, then after 2 weeks you don't need an alarm. The mind will automatically, make sure that you wake up at whatever 4 o'clock.
Nice. That regulation is very powerful.
And another tip that Maharaj gives in Art of Chanting Hare Krishna in that book, he says, before you go, similar to what you said, before you go to bed, try to meditate on and pray. Basically, pray to the Lord to actually help you chant better the next day. So, and when you wake up the next day morning, the mind starts from where you left off. When you went to sleep. So, automatically you remember all those things and become more aware and conscious while chanting.
Very good. Gandharvika?
I have a question, Prabhuji. One Mataji asked me, because she has kids and she's working and she's very busy. Morning she has to do so many things. So she was asking how it's impossible for her to finish her rounds early in the morning. So how should her mood be? That's her question. Because then somebody says that you must finish in the morning, but her lifestyle doesn't allow that, or something circumstantial. So
Well,
what
what
should they?
I would say in that case is get a taste. Make sure you get a taste before you move on to the next thing. That is that, say you only have time practically because you're really obligated in so many ways that you can only can chant 6 rounds or 4 rounds. Get a taste in those 4 or 6 rounds. That is, do them with full intention and prayer and beg that please let me have 1 mustard seed of taste from chanting these few rounds, because then you can pick it up later. And also, 1 mustard seed of taste or a glimmer of hearing the holy name will help you control your senses the rest of the day. And it will give you overflow to be able to be a good example for your kids and for your family. It all comes from this Ananda factor. Once Radhanath Maharaj and I were talking about management and stuff, and he said, the most important thing is manager has to have Ananda. So if you don't have Ananda, then it's very difficult to deal with all kinds of situations. He said that's your main duty, to have that Ananda. You can see where he chants. He has so many things to worry about. When he sits down, he's like fully into it. I always watch him. He's right on the, totally absorbed. His mouth's moving. He's like, sitting up straight, everything like that. So you got to try to get it. You got to try to get that and beg for it. Put your hand out. Please just give me that 1 little mustard seed of taste.
That helps, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Another personal question that I have is, sometimes if we finish all the rounds, I'm sure the rounds are not that great, that's why these thoughts are coming. But sometimes we feel that that's done. So that kind of spoils the whole thing of what you did. So how do we stay hungry and humble, especially in chanting?
Well, one thing is to have some flex goals. And that is that you should be thinking that you should do 25 rounds a day, but settle for 16 if you have to. It's just like in track and field. They never tell you to stop at the finish line. You'll notice when people come in the last 100 yards, and they don't say, okay, just start slowing down. As soon as you get this finish line, you can stop. No, you run way past it. So always keep your goal further away. And if you're chanting 16 rounds a day, you should think, actually, my real goal is to do 25. And on days when you can do it, do 25. And if you can get up to 25, that's better. And then if you have to, for some, very intense circumstances, only do 16, then you could feel a little lamentation. That's the hunger, that I couldn't do my 25. But set the bar a little higher.
Yeah, because what happens is, suppose if we finish it early in the morning, then the mind is so spoiled that when it gets the gaps, it's not filling the gaps with the holy name. Instead, it's like you want to do this or that, or it's going to the material things.
You can do this or that. Just make sure that they're transcendental. Because the mind may need a little variety at first. You may not have the taste to sit and chant 64 rounds or something like that. So then, have also in your regimen a chapter of Bhagavad Gita and keep the vibration going. And then go out and preach. That's transcendental vibration, and you're doing kirtan there also. And, that's the art of filling all the gaps throughout the different parts of the day and make sure that something's going on. If you're cooking and listening to the Chaitanya Bhagavat while you're cooking or something like that, then that's also good. So 24 hours a day, somehow or other you should be in contact with the vibration. But the starting point is this japa. When we're doing our japa, we should be, fully concentrated. And then you'll have a taste for these other activities in a much more profound way throughout the day. Yes, Narendra Prabhu. Here comes the microphone.
Kripalu ji told about this chanting the names, and he says you should try to remember Lord Krishna throughout the day. So actually he was saying every hour if you can remember even one time his name, that's good. So my question is it one time 16 round, in one sitting 16 round is better, or in 4 sittings 16 round is better?
Or what?
In 4 sittings 16 rounds, say 4, 4, 4, or say...
It's usually better to do 16 in a row. In fact, that's a really powerful kind of practice, to do your 16 rounds right in a row without stopping, without any other kind of distraction. And that'll give you really good momentum. If you can't do that, then do what you can. But you should have some goals like that. First class thing is to finish it all at one sitting. Yeah.
Prabhuji, I'm trying to reveal a technique that my mind uses to divert me. Maybe we can help me there. So
let's see if we've heard this from our own mind also.
Yeah. So when I start chanting, there is I hear from acharyas, and in the books I read that like just Rupa Goswami experienced such a taste in chanting, and most of the time I always would like to associate with people and get attracted to what they are attracted towards, right? So then I sit between devotees and I see chanting. I've tried many times, I don't see anyone laughing or happy when he's chanting. He's more like struggling, or trying to pull his, like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Everybody, like in New Vrindavan, once I was sitting and really observing, everybody is like putting all the pressure, but no one's really looking happy, and my mind uses the technique saying, hey, you know what? You're not going to be happy anyways, So every time I say that, no, you shut it there, I know I will be. Prabhupada said, chant and be happy, it will happen. But then, you know what, did you see anyone? So how should I deal with this, and where can I find people, who are going to look happy or,
Fitil, you have an answer for that?
I was thinking, if happiness is not there, they might not be actually showing it in their face or something like that. They wouldn't be continuing, right? They wouldn't be continuing for years together. If there is some mellow they are getting for so many years, that's why. Otherwise, you can't keep repeating a mundane film song so many years, right?
Hansapriya?
So, Prabhuji, my experience is growing up in the temple and seeing many devotees over the years. I find that devotees who has tried to chant their rounds nicely, even they have gone through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of difficulties in their life, but the people who had made me more respect for the holy name is the people who had gone through those situations and have still been out and chanting those rounds very nicely. So the point I'm trying to make is that it's their faith, just watching them, their faith in the holy name. That's what gives me the strength to just take a shelter of the holy name.
So a few good points there. I mean, one is happiness isn't measured by seeing people, rolling on the ground laughing or something like that. I mean, people can be drunk and do that, and then are they really happy? But once there was a picture of Prabhupada where he's very stern. I mean, that picture is there, and somebody was asking Prabhupada about the picture and said, you look sort of stern or maybe even sad. And Prabhupada said, no, I was in great ecstasy when they took that picture. And so a devotee's happiness can be more measured in their steadiness than anything else. Because I like your points that if somebody's steady, it means they're getting something. Otherwise, they would veer off in some other direction. And it is important to associate with devotees who are getting a taste. You can notice that, just like Chandrika Pandit says that you shouldn't reveal your financial situation here, there, and everywhere. I mean, just don't go telling everybody, hey, I make $300,000 a year. Let it come out. It should just be quiet about it, and people will notice. It's like, oh, he's pretty wealthy, or something like that. So in the same way, you don't have to advertise, like I'm really happy, or all your realizations or anything like that. It comes out in your steadiness. People can judge by the fact that you're really steady. And also, you can notice people's dedication to their service and their chanting of the holy name. I've seen devotees, I've been around devotees, where I just noticed that they're always there for it. They're always there for the holy name, and they relish it, and they can stay concentrated, and they have profound realizations from it too. I mean, those don't come from nowhere. They come from this discipline and practice. And when you hear them speak about it, it's like, oh, okay, they're getting something deep. And so when you associate with devotees like that, you realize they're steady, they're always there, they always show up for the holy name like I show up for prasadam. I mean, it's the happiest time of day. Sharira Vijajal, and I'm like, yeah. So, they're there for the japa because it's the happiest time of day for them. They know they're going to get something. And then afterwards, they have something profound to say, or, they have realizations about the holy name. So these three things, and many more, indicate real happiness, inner happiness. Bhaya sparshe sasaktatma vindit yatmani yat sukham. Krishna says in the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the devotee doesn't depend on external happiness. He's concentrated on the self within, and is experiencing a much higher happiness. There were some other points? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sometimes I chant few rounds, and after some rounds you try, and I find that today mind is too agitated. So rest of the time I don't try. Okay, let me finish let me finish my round. And the tendency is to, even if I practice for this for rest of my life, or at least I'm doing something. So somewhere at least I'm doing something, not doing. Although I'm not getting taste, but I'm trying, and I am be satisfied with that. So with that tendency, I don't try to push myself to again focus my mind on chanting holy name. So how to overcome that?
By being, in a class like this, I guess. If it's a practice and you start remembering how important it is, then. There can be a point to not jamming yourself when it's not working exactly. Krishna says in the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam to Uddhava that a person, a yogi, is like a horseman. And riding a horse, you don't always pull the reins back in because the horse is going to jerk you off the horse, but you're careful. Sometimes you let them out, sometimes you pull them back in. And so there's a way that when you're dealing with your mind, if it's absolutely not cooperating and you just try to jam it and pull it back in really hard, then it may be difficult. So you have to find the ways and means to deal with it. Like an expert horseman, the horse is a little sick that day or something like that. You don't ride him really hard and jab your, come on, Maybe ride him a little softer that day. But still, remember that you're the experiencer, and the mind is a mechanical instrument, very subtle, but it's mechanical, and you have to have awareness and keep practicing through all the different kinds. Going around Govardhan Hill, you're walking barefoot, and sometimes it's really smooth and it feels fantastic on your feet, and then other times, there's all these stones, or you step on a thorn and ouch. So I always compare this to our practice. At sometimes it goes really smoothly, at other times it feels a little harsh, but you have to keep going. You can't go back. You can't catch a rickshaw unless you're, you can if you want, but Shivata.
I have a question. When you were talking about when people want something out of chanting, like when you were giving the example of when you start saying Sharira Vidyajan and everyone's like, yeah. But are we getting something out of chanting basically? Because when we sing Sharira Vidyajan, after that we get prasadam, just food. And what does chanting
prasad is
give
mercy,
us?
right? Yeah, we are getting not just something out of chanting, we're getting everything out of chanting. Everything comes from that. And the devotees who are controlling their senses and endeavoring for that, they get mercy, they get prasad. Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita, where he says, Raga dvesha vimuktaistu vishayan indriyaishcharan atmavashara videyatma prasadam arigachati. That the person who controls the senses, follows the regulative principles of freedom, disciplines the mind and so forth, that person gets the complete mercy of the Lord. And when we take prasad, it's not, as you know, it's not ordinary food, it's actually transcendental. We're honoring prasadam. That's why we sing the prayer. We're honoring the prasadam. But it is a particularly nice way to honor the Lord, I must say. Let's see. Let's finish this verse. It says, Nama Chintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto. So it's complete. The name is Purna Shuddha, completely pure and purifying. Nitya Mukto, always liberated. It's not anything to do with this material world. Binatvam Nama Namino, and absolutely, positively not different from Krishna. There's no difference between the name and Krishna. This is a really good verse to meditate on before chanting, or to bring the mind back to remember that the name is Krishna. It's all purifying. All taste is there. Everything's there. Because the mind is searching here, there, and everywhere to find some perfect thing, to find some taste. And if you keep reminding it, it's over here, it's over here, it's over here, it's in the name, you can get it here, then he'll cooperate gradually. Yes?
Prabhuji, I just wanted to share one thing. I've been on the everyday chant call for the past, I try to be as many days as possible in a week. It has really helped me chant. I mean, I felt when I started on with it was as if I was chanting for the first time. And I was chanting probably for 15 years before. But that was a difference because, as what you said, try to chant to one like three things that you said, like how Bhurinjana Prabhu mentions in his Japa book that just think that you're doing only one time Japa. And just by doing that one time, your mind is totally, you're just going to do only one. So it'll let you do. So that way you're kind of, one at a time, you're trying to conquer the mind, so it will not disturb you. So that has helped me. And I was also thinking that one of the questions that they had asked for Kalasudha Mataji was, how is it that, she would get up at 4 and chant till 3:45 and finish her round 16 rounds before she actually dresses the deities. So she said, as what you mentioned, that once you have that taste, you will not let it go for anything.
Right.
And so, I was just thinking that, and for a person who's just getting up at 5:30 or 5:15, increase it by 5 to 10 minutes a day. And in few months, you will get to the time of chanting 16 before you leave home. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Incremental improvement. Okay, last point, Pooja.
I have a question, Prabhuji. So sometimes there's association of devotees, such as maybe a Bhakti Viksha or another program, a temple program, but we might have our rounds left. So is it better to go for the association or finish our rounds?
If you have a duty to do in preaching and you have to go do it, then it's important to do your service. But then you should think that I don't want to get in this situation again. I'll plan ahead and finish my rounds. I'll plan a week ahead of time and make sure. I remember when Shraddha Devi Dasi was getting ready for initiation, she was being really careful, and she still is, about chanting her rounds. And she had a wedding that came up or something like that, and she was very involved with it. But she was really careful to make sure, she was planning a week ahead of time to make sure that how she was going to get her 16 rounds done before she got obligated to do all these other things with the family. And so when we're thinking ahead like that I know this thing is coming up, so I want to make sure that I get that. When I travel, I hate chanting on airplanes. It's really difficult for me to concentrate. There's televisions everywhere. And it's just the energy in an airplane is kind of unusually distracting. And so I always consider it like gold every minute I get before I leave the house, and try to get as much possible time as I can to finish my japa before I get on the airplane, so I don't have that torturous feeling that I'm trying to finish while I'm in this situation. Okay, let's look at some more things. The 3 P's of chanting are pronunciation. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So that's 16 words, 32 syllables. 16 words, everyone say 16 words, 32 syllables. 32 syllables. So that's a mathematical equation. Make sure you hit all those when you're chanting and pronounce the name properly. So we're going to practice for a second here. We're going to chant. Half of us are going to chant. And the person you're sitting next to, the person sitting next to you is going to listen to you chant about 10 mantras. And then they'll comment to you. Then we'll stop and they'll comment about what it sounded like. And just be really straightforward and tell them if they're missing a mantra or something like that. And then we'll switch. Okay, are you ready? Okay, so somebody pick a partner who you're going to chant. One person's going to chant, the other person's going to listen, and then you'll switch. Get ready? Okay? Go ahead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Okay, now exchange information. The person who is listening, give some comments, straightforward comments. Be their friend and tell them if they're chanting too fast, or they're missing a mantra, or they're mispronouncing something. I'm curious, did we get any constructive criticism? Anybody give constructive criticism? Yeah, you got some? Do you care to tell us what it was? Microphone. Let's listen just for a sec.
Yeah, so...
Okay, 1 sec. Hold it.
So the way I was chanting was Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. So Prabhuji told that I'm mixing the two words Krishna, Krishna, like Krishna, Krishna. And I'm trying to make it sounded like one word rather than Krishna, Krishna.
Okay, so he found a slight improvement that you can make. Any other improvements you heard? Yes.
This is not an improvement. This is a question. We should chant Ram or Rama.
Rama.
Both are okay? Or?
Rama.
Ram is not okay?
Hare Rama. 16 words, 32 syllables. It's mathematical. Keep it symmetrical. 16 words, 32 syllables. Let's ask our mathematician. Himanshu, 16 words, 32 syllables, huh? What do you think?
Yes, Prabhuji. And even in Sanskrit, no words ends with a vikram. There is a there. So ma, Rama is...
That Krishna says, I am the akar, right? So you don't want to leave Krishna off the end. Yes, Srivata. Yeah?
Prabhuji, is Ramo okay? Hare Krishna,
Ramo?
Hare Krishna, Krishna.
It is okay if you're Bengali. Otherwise, don't go there unless you're Bengali. There you got an excuse. Ruby Mataji can say Ramo, but nobody else. Shamalangi can say Ramo if she wants, but I doubt she will. Okay. All right, let's go the other way. Now switch sides, and you chant to the other person, and you listen very carefully, and try to give them some constructive criticism. Go. Chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. Okay, you've got a sample. Now give them some advice how they can make an improvement, or tell them what they're doing right. How to go. Okay. Okay, let's hear. Who gave some constructive criticism? Yes. Pooja? Either way. Microphone up to Pooja.
Prabhuji was telling me that it is good to maintain our speed, because if you don't, you're rushing somewhere, school, office, and then you make different syllables and different words out of.
Okay, so keep a consistent pace. He was telling you to be more consistent. Any other constructive criticism? Yes, Srivatsa.
Himanshu Prabhu told me, because I was chanting in constant speed, but on the Rama Rama part I was slowing down. So he told me that will like, he told me just to stay in the same speed.
Stay steady, okay. All right, so the other thing that you can do, did you have your hand up? Yeah, pass the mic back.
Prabhuji, it's once again the question about Ram and Rama. In Hindi, the books which I have seen says Ram, so I just wanted to know why we are saying Rama.
Well, that's how it's written in Sanskrit, Rama Rama.
But why in Hindi it's not written Rama?
Yeah?
My understanding also is Krishna is never written. Krishna is written.
Actually, in Sanskrit, each Ram is just half M. Like if it's, it actually ends with a so it's Rama. In Sanskrit, it's always pronounced.
Okay, it's Rama.
It's Rama. It's always pronounced as
16 words, 32 syllables. So now, the other thing that you can do that I recommend is, this is very potent way to improve your japa, is to record yourself chanting japa and listen. Because even if somebody tells you, you may go home thinking, whether they don't know what you're talking about. I chant like a pro. But when you tape record yourself and listen to it, it's just like when somebody shows you a picture of yourself. You go, that looks terrible. So, no, that's you, you know. So same thing, when you record yourself chanting the Mahamantra, you'll notice how you're chanting, and chant for a whole round at least, and then listen to it and see where you're pronouncing correctly and where you might be missing.
Once I did that, I realized that I was skipping 10 mantras.
So she said when she was doing it and realized she was skipping 10 mantras. Yeah, skipping mantras is another thing. I mean, the other day Madhava Maharaj was telling me that he's trying everything, because he said his hands cheat. That's why he went to Malaysia and he bought these beads that are like this big. He said, but I can't believe it, they still cheat. He said, unless you put the beads right in front of your eyes and do it like that, the hands will cheat. And then he got this clicker, because he said it's digital, so I can't cheat on that. But he's always trying to make sure, clarify, be straightforward, make sure you're hitting every beat, every mantra. Posture is important. Prabhupada says on that famous japa tape, sit properly. So think of that, and actually there's a way in which when you sit up straight, you feel more serious. And in fact, if you go to an interview and you're like, yeah, sure, why not? People are going to think you're not so serious. But when you go to the interview and you sit up straight and you're fully concentrating, you're leaning in to the conversation, then they'll take you seriously, and Krishna will too. So prayer is also vital. This is a prayer, Hare Krishna. It's a prayer to Krishna, and we should be prayerful. Also, a genuine cry. This is a very nice meditation that I'm helpless. Akinchana Gochara. I don't have anyone else in this world. And if you can really fix your mind and heart on this conception when you first start chanting, and remember that your breath is coming from Krishna, your intelligence is coming from Krishna, every cell in your body is being sustained, and you're completely helpless. And you chant with humility and helplessness. Then very quickly you can be crying out for the holy name and actually tasting something extraordinary. Yes?
Prabhuji, those last 2 points, genuine cry and a mood of prayer, I have always found myself struggling, because when this mood of prayer kicks in, then the mind tries to go into pastimes, excessive prayer, or some other kind of thinking about some Vaishnava bhajans, but then the concentration on only hearing is lost. So how to balance these two? Because prayer means something else is going on. So
what I recommend is that you make the prayer in a heartfelt, very conscious way, a feeling way, and then let that feeling linger in the air and in your heart as you're chanting. Like one prayer that I make regularly is that, Krishna, please give me good association. Please lead me to the most advanced kind of association, and then I promise that I'll take full advantage of it. That's a prayer I make a lot. And then I just have that feeling of wanting something that will help me in devotional service. And then I chant, sort of calling out in that way. It's not so much, prayer shouldn't be so much a mental process, an intellectual process, as something that you feel from your heart. What is the feeling behind it? Srivata?
On the second one about posture, normally, sometimes I have a lot of homework and I stay up, it's 8:30, I've not ate my dinner yet, I'm pretty hungry and I have to chant my rounds. Mm-hmm. It's hard to sit up straight because I'm thinking so much about, I'm hungry, I need food.
Take a little something. If you're really, really hungry and it's hard to concentrate, it probably means your blood sugar is low. So without spoiling your whole dinner, you can take something like some coconut water or a banana. Like eat one banana because it has a lot of minerals and potassium in it, and it'll give you a little strength to do that. And so that goes for any time and anybody. If there's a way in which you can't sustain your energy or something like that, then take something that will help you to have enough energy to really fully concentrate on your japa. Standard prayers. This is the prayer I mentioned earlier. Naham vipro nacha narapatir napi vaisho nashudro naham varni nacha griyapatir no vanasto yatirva kintu prodyan nikila paramananda purnamratabdir gopi bartu parakamali or das anadasa. I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the master of the gopis, and I'm not anything else. If you could just give away all the designations, leave them at the door before you start to chant, and think, I'm not a temple president, I'm not a, whatever designation I have, leave that behind. Be a spirit soul, fully dependent on Krishna. And this verse, Trinadapi Sunichena, Toror Iva Suhishnuna, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari, is mentioned in the Shikshashtakam after the verse Durdaivam Idrishami Hajani Nanuragaha. And that is that 755. We're going to have to come to a close very quickly. That is that I'm so unfortunate that I don't have a taste for these names, even though I know all of Krishna's personal energies. So then what do? You become very humble. Then you become humble. And you become respectful of all others and so forth. And you chant in that frame of mind. Now, there are jewels in this verse. Trinadapi sunichena toror iva suhishnuna. So like a tree, like a blade of grass. And then amanina manadena, you should give respect to others, don't expect anything in return. These are 4 distinct jewels in this verse. So as a home project, you should go to the yarn barn and get yourself some string. And then take these 4 jewels home and string them. And then hang them around your neck. That's the most, Yeah, these are the most beautiful jewels you can wear. The most beautiful ornaments that you can wear is this humility, this tolerance, this giving respect to others, not taking respect for yourself. So you got to go get the string. It's a home project. You got to go to the hobby craft store, get the string yourself. Take these jewels and string them, then you can hang them around your neck. And this is the advice of Kaviraj Goswami. You should wear them everywhere and be very aware of this verse all the time. Personal prayers. Krishna, please help me. Please pick me up. Please give me good association. You should pour out your heart to the holy name and take shelter of the holy name as your only business. And there are these practical tips. One is shut off all the electronics. Anything with an on-off switch goes off. Sit in a japa circle. If you're around very serious devotees, it will help you pick up your own japa. Sit before Tulsi. This is highly recommended, to chant Tulsi. And some people like to wear these earplugs. I know Satyadev is fixed on the earplug program. I never quite caught onto it, but others have. And it can work for some people, so try it out. That's some practical tips. The other is the power of sankalpa. We talked about this the other day, maybe. I'm not sure if it was here or not, but if you write down a little prayer to the holy name before you start chanting, I take all my scrap paper and I cut it into little squares, and then before I start chanting my japa, I write a little prayer to the holy name, and then I just keep that nearby. And it helps you to fix your mind and what is your determination? Why are you chanting before you start? Don't just jump right in, but start with your sankalpa. What is your firm vow to the holy name? And then we have reflections, which we've done throughout the program today. So this workshop was designed to make us more conscious of the importance of japa and also to pick up a few practical tips. Many of these we've heard many times before, but when we repeat them, because this is our main kind of practice, this chanting, then we'll remember and we'll go home and remember how important it is to employ them. So let's take home this wealth of information we've heard from all the devotees and anything that we've gleaned here today. And remember that all of our potency in devotional service comes from the holy name. Any of our ability to do anything comes from the holy name. All our purification comes from the chanting of the holy name. Try to increase. Try to make it better and try to do more. And do a minimum of 16 rounds, but you can, and if you're not up to that level, pick a number that you can sustain without going below it. If it's 1, fine. If it's 4, fine, but don't go below a certain number. Stick to it. And then try to go for big numbers, especially on special days. If you get an opportunity, chant 64 rounds. If you really want to go for it, chant 108 rounds. And see how that changes your life. It will, I promise, I guarantee you. You'll notice life-changing experience when you chant 108 rounds or even 64 rounds in a day. Altogether possible, you just have to plan for it. You could plan a month ahead of time and tell everyone, I'm incognito for one day. I'm going to go up in the mountains and chant 108 rounds. And nobody can stop you except your own mind. So don't hesitate. Take full shelter of the holy name. And go off the grid if you have to take full advantage of this, because the name is our main sadhana, and there's nothing else to be had in the 14 worlds except the holy name. Go Premanande!
Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, hey! Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman.